So it's morning, and the sun's pretty low, and between the low sun and the good wind and the flat ride, it's the perfect time to take shallow pictures. Micah thinks he's a really good photographer. He thinks he has talent, so he's doing a lot of bullshit with shutter speed and framing and what have you, and we're both taking shallow pictures, and we hear a truck coming behind us, or I hear it. I assume Micah does. I think he does because we're both hugging the shoulder a little bit, so taking our shallow shots, and the truck becomes louder and closer and passes us, and I see it's a Tyson truck full of crates of screaming chickens packed together, and there are feathers flying out of the truck bed like some kind of, I don't know what kind of metaphor. And I scream up to Michael, who did I mention was in front of me, "Look at that slave poultry!" And he looks back at me. He has his left hand on his handlebar and his right hand still on this bullshit professional camera, and he looks back at me and he's laughing and he started to say something, but the truck bed separates from the cab and flies backwards and takes him off the road. Before the ambulance came, this PR lady from Tyson came. I didn't realize I was still holding my camera. She was like, "I'm sorry, sir, but I have to confiscate your camera." She has to yell it to me to hear her over all these maimed and freak out birds. I was like, "My best friend is under 3,000 chickens." She was like, "I understand that you're upset, but this would be easier for both of us if you just give me your camera now." I was like, "I couldn't get to him, he was buried under there. Where is the ambulance?" And she was like, "I'm going to ask you one more time," and I threw my camera on the ground. So, what I don't have is these pictures from Yellowstone. He caught a fish there with his bare hands. He stood pretty still and reaching. I had a picture of him holding up this fish longer than his head and neck. Oh, and we dipped our back tires in the Pacific. That's another corny thing you do, because then you're supposed to dip your front tires in the Atlantic when you get there, which I have not done yet. Incidentally, don't know why. And I got a video of him dipping his back tire and pretending to fall off from this rock into the sea because he was a clown, you know. He's a gifted physical comedian. He could have done that for real. And then there are all these pictures of him I don't remember taking, and maybe losing those are worse than losing the ones I do. It took them about 45 minutes to get him out, and the funny thing was, he hadn't sustained any trauma to his head, but has been face down in the mud with hundreds of ounces of weight on him. And he had suffocated.